Good evening, everybody. My name is Samantha Paisley, and for those of you that don't know me, I am calling from Maryland, and I am so excited to have some of the most incredible women that I know joining us on this call this evening, and to be hosting it with one of my very best friends, Randi Marie, who I just adore in so many ways. And I wanted to kind of make sure that, first off, everybody is in a great place right now, comfortable, relaxed. You've told all the kids to leave you alone for a little bit. It's mommy time. But, we wanted to get you guys on this call tonight, which is actually a 3-part call. But this evening, we really want to focus on a couple of things, and one of them really being how to relate to the unknown, the fear of the unknown. And it's not just going to be about business, and it's not just going to be about relationships. It's going to be about life in general as a whole. And we're going to really just, I don't even want to say the word attack, but just approach this from so many different angles to help you guys picture and visualize how you can embrace and become the best you possibly that you're able to be. And so first, I want to start off by kind of just telling you guys a little bit about me. I'm 37 years old. I am a disabled veteran. I served in the Marine Corps for 8 years. And I'm a mother of 5. I have 4 daughters and a son. They're 16, 16, 13, almost 12, and my son just turned 9. And being a mom is not an easy task, as those of you that are on this call know, but it is so rewarding, that's for sure. Being a wife is not an easy task either, but it's also so rewarding. But, even being a friend and just a sister and a daughter, all of these things are just amazing to be able to share with people that you love, right? And so I have always been somebody who loved to hustle, loved to work, loved to reap the benefits of my, hard work. And, being a Marine was a title that I hold very near and dear to my heart. I was told for many years by many people that, I wasn't going to make it, or they'd laugh at me or say, oh gosh, we'll see you in a couple of weeks when you flunk out of boot camp and you get sent home. And I had a lot of people that doubted me. But one thing I can tell you is that no matter how many people doubted me, not once did I ever doubt myself. And I can honestly sit here and tell you, when people ask me, how did you do it? I can't believe you were a Marine. Were you scared? I can say I was never once scared to be a Marine. I was never once scared to go to boot camp. I was afraid of the unknown because I was, 17, 18 years old. I was leaving home. I didn't know what to expect. All I did was watch a few videos that my recruiter showed me, and that was really all that I had to look forward to. So the fear of the unknown was something that I know a lot about. And it hasn't just been that part of my life. It's been all throughout my life, whether, it was my parents getting divorced at a young age and not knowing what was going to happen, or starting a new school and not knowing if I'd have friends or be able to get good grades or whatever. I think we all experience that at many times in our lives. Even now as an adult, I have experienced it. And 3.5 years ago, I experienced it pretty badly to a point where I wasn't sure if it was just the fear of the unknown or if I was scared. And I wasn't sure how I was going to deal with things, and I started to doubt myself. And my home went into foreclosure, and my financial situation was at its worst. I had negative $14.62 in my checking account at one point. And it was the same day that I found out my car was getting repossessed. And I was sitting in my living room, and I received a phone call from a friend. and he was telling me about this new opportunity, and he wanted me to take part in this company that was on the up and brand new. And I was scared because in my heart of hearts, in my gut, I felt, wow, I have to do this. This felt right. And I've always been that individual that when something feels so right, I don't question it. I just go for it. And I've been known to be the spontaneous one and the rebel at times in the family because of being that way and having those traits about myself. But I can tell you guys that I don't regret anything I've ever jumped into, and I think it's simply because I know that things are put into my life for a reason, and that there's nothing that I cannot overcome or accomplish or goal that I can reach. And so I'm going to fast forward a little bit. After joining this amazing company that I've been with and achieving such incredible success, I break it down daily, and really the meaning of all of this is just simply, there's so many things that I'm so grateful for when it comes to this company, but honestly, I have so much fulfillment because I've achieved success by helping other people and focusing on their needs and their wants and helping them reach their goals and being able to keep a positive mindset no matter what and just guide and lead based off of my own traits and things that I've empowered as a woman and as a mom and as a wife and now an entrepreneur. And I'm able to lead by example. But I'm also able to share with them, how anything is possible. And I am proof of that. And so I had an event in California a few years back, and I happened, those of you that know me know, I love my hair extensions, and I love to, get my nails done and get all fancied up. And I remember I went to California, and I had some time, and I wanted to get my hair done. And it was a last-minute thing. And I was looking through Google and online, and I came across this amazing woman, Randina, I'm going to introduce you to in a minute. And I'll tell you, I was drawn to her. It was almost like, I made all these phone calls, but she was the person that was the one who got right back to me, and everything worked out the way it was supposed to work out. And when I met with her, she was able to accommodate me. But best of all, the second that I met Randina, it was this amazing energy about her that it's almost just indescribable. And I've had a connection like this with a few women in my life. A few of them even are on the call right now, Cindy and Addie and Teresa. And, it's such a great feeling knowing that you have that bond and that, just that energy when you are surrounded by certain people, especially a strong woman like Randina and the others that I mentioned. And so I want to bring her on the line because I want you guys to know that she has played such a role in my life, an amazing role in helping and guiding me and being that positive light that we all need to be able to conquer and overcome and just learn who we are, but to be able to help and make others better and realize that they have such a strength inside of them. And she has helped me to find so much out about myself and to be a better me. So, Randina, I would love for you to bless us with your presence and say hello to everybody and just share some of your light.
Thank you so much. I would more than love to do that. So actually the funny thing is our story is the way that you met me is, I don't know if you know this or not, but I wasn't even taking new clients at the time that you had called the salon. Mm-hmm. So for some reason, because I was only doing my VIP coaching, so the only time I was actually even doing any kind of hair makeover was with my coaching clients. And so I don't know what it was, but I know now, obviously, but for some reason, I knew I had to take you. It was just, everything felt right. From the second we met each other, it was like, we've known each other for lifetimes, and this is so amazing. And, now looking back, it all makes sense because we both have this burning desire to empower women and just be the light in the world that the world so desperately needs right now. And then meeting Cindy and, the same thing with her and the three of us just together, we're just like so much for this world to even take. So I'm so happy to be here with the two of you, and I can honestly say that you are two of my favorite people in the world. And I actually love to do what I'm doing because of you guys. So I think before I go into my full story that I kind of want to do like a heart centering, getting us connected, really just grounding into why we're here and what we're doing. So if everyone can just stop what they're doing for just a minute and just take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth, and just kind of get really grounded and centered in your body, allowing yourself to be connected to everybody that's on this call, because having this strong network of women is just so empowering and beautiful. And even though we're all over the United States, all over the world, we can create this sort of like neuronet between each other that really just uplifts the planet at the same time. So let's just really get connected with each other. So if you can, as you breathe in, just breathe into your heart, just feeling that energy in your heart. Think of something that you love to kind of turn on that area of your body. Maybe feeling, grateful that you're here and that you're not alone and that we're all together in this journey of life, and that we really do get to create the way that we came here to create, and feeling blessed and privileged for the people in your life. And just breathe in all of this loving collective energy and feel the love that the universe, that the God of your heart, that all of your angels and everybody has for you in this moment, because you were drawn here for a reason. And then in your mind, just say, I set my ego and my critical mind to the side, and I open my heart for the purpose of experiencing more love and connection and blessings in my life. So we're each just holding each other up in this supportive and loving space. As we grow and we elevate, we bring all of each other with us together. And it's so much more fun to do this. I mean, we are in a time and space when we can really come together and say these kinds of things without being persecuted. We really can be together, and we really can make major transformation on the planet, which is what we all came here to do. Okay, you can open your eyes. So I got started in this work and wanting to empower others because I so desperately needed it myself. I was at a place where I was a very young mother. I got pregnant when I was 17 years old, and I had my daughter when I was 18. I was married to, now I look at him as though he was such a blessing because he was a catalyst for change in my life. But at the time, it was a very difficult, abusive, mentally abusive relationship that I was in. I was living in poverty. When I graduated high school, I was 6 months pregnant. And I did walk, and I did go to college, and I got my associate degree, and I enrolled in cosmetology school because that was what I knew that I needed to do in order to be able to have the time that I wanted to have with my daughter. And I knew I was going to open a business. That's why I got my associate degree in business, so that I could do that. And the world just kind of felt like everything was against me. It was a struggle. It was a challenge. I couldn't figure out, why these horrible things were happening to me, why I was in this relationship. I had lost my mother when I was 16 years old. I watched her die. She was a victim of domestic violence. And so that impact on that day really changed my life. And I didn't remember that I had made this vow until I was a little bit older and kind of out of the darkness. But at the time that I watched her take her last breath, I vowed that I was going to figure out how life worked, and that I was going to not only use it for myself, but I was going to teach other people so that no woman ever had to experience that again, and that no daughter ever had to watch her mother die. And fast forward a few years later, I'm in the same type of relationship that she was in, and I had my second child, so I got pregnant again when I was 23 and had my son when I was 24. And I remember walking outside of my house on my patio and just looking up at the sky and saying, you know, I cannot take this anymore, because not only was my relationship in shambles, but also I was living in poverty. I was on state aid, I was in food stamps, and that was not who I was. So it was really devastating for me to be in that point of pain, and I was going to take my own life because I couldn't take it anymore. I wasn't doing good for anybody in my life, not my family, my children. You know, I was sheltering them and hiding them from all of this stuff that was going on behind closed doors so that they weren't impacted, but it was definitely taking a toll on me. And so I looked up in the sky, and I had a one-way argument with God, and I said, you have to show me how this really works. I know this can't be the answer. I know that I didn't do so many horrible things in any lifetime to have to be experiencing this. And so I went back inside and fell asleep, and it was actually one of the best sleeps I've ever had. And 3 days later, I had one of my colleagues actually recommend a movie called What the Bleep Do We Know? And I kind of ignored it because it sounded like a weird title, so I wasn't going to watch it. And she kept being adamant on it, and then I had heard it from like 4 other places. And now this is an independent documentary. It wasn't out in the mainstream. And so I finally watched it, and that was the beginning of the answer to what I was seeking. And from that point, I just went on a crazy learning spree, reading every book I could get my hands on, from quantum physics, neuroscience, to astrology, to past lives, to Akashic fields, you know, the science of the Akashic field, and all of these things. But I did not I was not in my metaphysical journey at that point in time because I needed hard facts. So it was only science. It was like straightforward science that I was learning. And so after years of doing this and listening to thousands of lectures, and then going to school and being licensed in Master in Neuro-Linguistic Programming, and also life coaching and all of these things, I probably have like 20 different licenses and certifications because I just couldn't get enough. I finally was able to use all of this to transform my own life and how to get myself out of these things, and then started doing it with my clients. So there really is a way to take hold of this fear that that debilitates so many of us, and inject faith into it so that you really can do what you came here to do. And that's kind of what this call was really about. When Sam and I were talking about doing this, she was like, I need something to empower my girls, my tribe. And I was like, yeah, me too. You know, we should just do this together, because especially right now, you know, with the elections and everything that's going on in the world, women, we are going to be the ones that bind together in love and change the planet. So I'm really happy that you are all here. I feel so blessed to be able to speak with you. I know that I talked a little bit long about what my story was, but that's why I wanted to get us all centered, because I knew it was going to take a minute for me to explain it. So let's go into the basis of the call, because I really, really want to get all of you fired up and on fire for your lives, and for you to know your power. You already know it to some extent, to some level. A lot of you are mothers, and you have that. All of us, whether you're a mother or not, you have that ingrained within you, is coded within you. That feminine power that is here, that you can just learn to use and create a beautiful, beautiful life experience. Because once you do this and you really align with it, when challenges come your way, you're no longer taken out by them. You kind of are more in the observatory area of them, and you can feel into which would be the right direction. So really tuning into your intuition and having that be your source of guidance will take you so much farther. If you think about the Elon Musk and the Bill Gates and the Steve Jobs and all of them, even Richard Branson, he knew within 15 seconds of meeting somebody that if he was going to do business with them or not. So these high-level people, they use their intuition before logic. This is what we were born with. Women were born with intuition to use before logic. We've just had that conditioned out of us, and we second-guess ourselves. So what we're going to do is really get us back into the flow of being able to really tune into that power and learn how to use it. Because one of the reasons why we experience so much chaos in our lives is we're trying to do things in the male way. And that's the action, the pushing, the having to make things happen, which in reality, that's the backwards way of doing things, which is a lot of the reason why there's so much chaos created in the world, the fighting and all of the things that are going on. The way to do it is to be in your feminine energy, that energy of creation, and put your intentions out into the universe, and then you take inspired action to flow with that to get you to your goal. So I'm hoping that as you leave this call that you feel this power within you that I know is there, that I know you know is there, and that you feel, and you start channeling that even more and more and more every day so that you really can make your life the way that you want it to look, with harmonious relationships with your family, with your children, with your husbands, with your work. A lot of you are entrepreneurs, and when you learn how to do things in the feminine way, the money just flows in. But the funny thing is you're no longer worried about the money because you're living on purpose, because your mission has taken a different road. And the truth is that the more that you attempt to focus on the money that's coming in, the less that it will come in, and it'll get even harder and strenuous. And not only that, but you could not even imagine how much money is waiting to flow into your life, or abundance, or love, or whatever it is that you seek, when you become in alignment with your power and with what you came here to do. So that's one of the ways of getting out of fear, is by really tuning into your soul's purpose. Even Sam, when she mentioned the level of success that she reached, she had to really just be on purpose. And that's one of the reasons why her and Cindy are both so successful, because they are doing it because they truly love people, and they believe in what they're doing, and what they're doing really is impacting the world, and it impacts the lives of others. And when you can tune into the truth of that, it won't matter what product you're selling. It won't matter what business platform you're using. The only thing that will matter is that you know your gift, you know your value, and you know what it does for other people, and other people will naturally radiate to you. I know even in my early days of sales, I would sell more product for companies that I had no association with than I would for even myself, because when I was talking about these products, there was no hidden agenda. There was nothing behind it. It was just like, this is what works for me. This is what I absolutely love, and you should do it too. And they would just go buy it. I have this one company that I was referring people to, and they would be like, oh, you should be, a salesperson for them. And I was like, no, I just love the product. So what Sam and Cindy do is they absolutely love what they're doing. And because they love what they're doing, they are able to bypass that hidden agenda type of stuff. And a lot of that comes from scarcity. So the whole point is to get you out of the fear, which causes the scarcity, into the faith and trust and knowing. So you're here on this call, and I know that you're going to take away what you need for your life. I am a messenger. That's all I am. For whatever the signs the universe has been trying to deliver to you, I am just another example of what that is for you in your life. So take what I say and apply it to your life in the way that you know that it needs to be applied. Okay, let's go into this. Sam, do you have anything to add?
As you were saying that, I do want to say something, because like I told you earlier today, I've had a lot of women this week, specifically this week in general, reaching out to me, and they want something so bad, whether it's love or success in their business, or, that phone call back, or that response from the post, or whatever it is, and they want it, and they want it, and they want it. But as they're telling me they want it, they're following up their next sentences, but I know this isn't going to happen, or I'm so frustrated that everybody else is this, or it is something negative. So you can hear and you can feel this energy of this, I need this, I want this. They're not just hungry for it, they're starving for it, but at the same time, there's that little bit of doubt that needs to be released. You have to get that out of your head. I mean, for instance, I set a goal, a couple, for those of you that are, work with me, I don't want to make this about work by any means, but just kind of know, like, I have a goal right now. I want to go on a trip, a vacation. And in order to get there, I have to do something. I'm going to tell you guys what I did yesterday, and Cindy can attest to this because I sent a picture over to her. I purchased my plane ticket because I know I'm going to get there. No doubt in my mind. It's like, The Secret. You know, guys, I remember 3.5 years ago laying in my bed, listening to The Secret, and remembering one thing that stood out to me so much. They said you can go to our website, you know, afterwards, and you can go and print out these checks, and they're blank checks. Yeah. And you can write whatever you want on it.
That is awesome.
All over your house, right? So what I did was, and you know what, guys, don't just write out this check first. Oh, I'm going to write it for $10,000. Go big or go home is the way that I see it. So I wrote this check out for $1 million. Guys, if you recall, I told you I was in foreclosure. My car was getting repoed, and I had negative $14 in my checking account. So it was go big or go home. I wrote $1 million check, and I posted that check on my mirror. I posted that check on my ceiling. The first thing I saw in the morning when I opened my eyes was this $1 million check that I wrote out and I signed, and it was all over my house. Shanna Vineyard does this. She's got these all over her house. There's a lot of women on this call that do this.
Yeah,
and it's not
I do.
Just their vision board, right? And I'm going to tell you guys something. 3.5 years, 7 figures has become apparent in my life. It has happened.
Yeah.
And it is something that's surreal, and I'm very humbled by everything, you know, that's happened, and I'm so grateful, and I'm just so, I pinch myself. But at the same time, I never want to come off, arrogant about this. When I say this, don't take it the wrong way, but I knew that was going to happen. I had no doubt in my mind. And before my grandfather passed away, I remember him saying to me, there's nothing that you can imagine that you can't achieve, and there's no goal that you can set that you will not reach ever. And that's just who you are. And he knew it. He said he's known that about me since the day I was born. That was me, and I was set out, and I was supposed to be that person. And it gave me that extra oomph and that, that feeling of he's so right, and he's always believed in me. But at the same time, the one person that matters is you. You believing in yourself. And I've never not believed in myself. So I wanted to.
That's all the work I do.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if a woman comes to me to lose weight. It doesn't matter if a woman comes to me to, launch her business or to manifest a man. It is every single time about the beliefs that they have with themselves. Like I always say, the relationship that you have with yourself is the most important relationship that you'll ever have with anything or anybody in your life, because that's what determines what you have, what relationships you have with everything. I mean, you can manifest the money, but if you're not happy internally, you will get rid of it, or it'll just become a game. It'll be the next thing I need to get, the next thing I need to get, the next thing I need to get in order to be happy. That's why you have to really go internally and be happy internally. But one of the things that I wanted to touch on that you were talking about, the check, that's really funny because I have a story at the end of the call about a secret check and how, the Jim Carrey check. Well, I learned some new information about that, and I really wanted to share it with everybody too. So I was kind of laughing when you said the check.
I'm getting text messages. Cindy's like, I've got checks all over my house, and I've got all these text messages coming through from my girlfriends. They're like, I've got checks all over the walls. It's so great.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna tell everyone the key to that. The key to having these checks really come through to you is to feel it in your heart when you set the money that you want to receive, right? So I was able to manifest money all the time. It wouldn't matter if it was $10,000, $30,000, $40,000 in a month. I would be able to get it. But I never. It was always like a hollow wanting to get that. Once I took my desire for money and I really honed it, I want to be paid for changing lives. That's what I want. I want this. What was it, like $48,000? I wanted an odd number so that I knew when it came that I would get it. I want $48,000 for transforming lives, services rendered transforming lives, because that really grounded it into my heart. It was not even 60 days from the time that I wrote that check till I manifested exactly the amount of money from that. It felt so much better than just manifesting money. So the key is to tune into your heart's desires, and that's going to be one of the things that you're going to want to take away from this call also. At the very end, I'm going to give you a list of 5 different things that you can do to really set this into motion. One of them is to writing down your intentions, not just your intentions or your goals, but your heart desires. Above everything else, what do you really want? Not like the moment monetary, oh, let me just get the money to get out of debt, which that's okay too, but what you really, really want, like the ultimate end-all be-all, because I'll tell you what will happen. The universe, your guides, everything will conspire on your behalf to bring that to your reality. And there's a caveat. If you do not go willingly, you will be drugged, kicking, and screaming, because there is the whisper and then there is the 2x4. So you have to remember that when you set these things into motion, if you just go with ease, you'll make your journey so much easier than if you try to resist it, and you try to resist it by, oh, I want this, but it's not for me, or, oh, I want this, but, I see other people having it, but I can't have it, it's not for me. You have to stop doing that. Like, you most certainly have to stop comparing yourself. God created every single one of us to be individuals, to be different, to have our own unique identity, our own thumbprint, and our own gift to the world. Stop looking at other people and comparing yourself. This is one of the number one things that sidetracks even me sometimes when I go online and I see all these other coaches and healers and doing all this stuff, and I'm just like, ugh, you have to stop doing that. You have to really just hone into who you are and what your gift is, and everything will flow into your reality that you want. Do you have anything else to say, Sam? I thought you were going to butt in there.
Oh, no, sorry. I had it on mute. I was sipping my wine. I'm sitting here nodding my head yes, girl, preach. This is so everything right now. Loving this. Everything you're saying, it's 100% on the money. Yeah, I am just in a full agreement with everything. Yeah, I love it. Love it.
Good.
Keep
okay.
going.
Okay. Get back on the horse.
Yeah, that's
okay. So one of the things that I want to talk about was getting you out of mediocrity and into gear so that you can really realize your dreams. When I was talking to Sam earlier, and she was talking about people wanting to take the easy road and giving up and doing all these things that they're just kind of giving up on their dreams, or they're not really putting all the effort in. One of the things about the universe is when you make a decision that is a heart and soul decision and you really go for it, the universe moves for you. So one of the scariest things that I actually did was walking away from my 6-figure salon business into being a full-time transformational healer coach, because it was secure for me. Everything was secure. And the coaching, I was making amazing money doing it, but there was no stability about it at that point in time in my mind. But I made a decision. I was like, this is my calling. This is what I'm here to do. This is what I have to do. The world needs me, just like it needs all of us to step in and stand in our power. So I did it. And once I did it, all of these, every door just that I could even imagine just possibly opened up for me. So you have to just give it your all. Stop trying to do the easy road. Stop trying to be lazy about it. The universe, I say the universe a lot, and what the universe means for me is just all that is. So all that is really rewards the mastermind. So being a mastermind in your thoughts and your goals and your visions, it is the hardest, but it is the most rewarding. It's easy to be lazy. It's easy to be sloppy in your thinkings. It's easy to let your problems overtake you, but it really isn't. Right? It really isn't, because when you are lazy, when you're sloppy with your thinking, when you're allowing your problems to control you rather than you controlling your problems, whether it's an argument with your child or an argument with your husband or something going wrong in your business, you will create another season of having that experience, because our thoughts and our feelings, our emotions are 5,000 times more powerful than just our thoughts alone. So when you're feeling that, you're feeling defeated, that is your signal that you're sending out in front of you to actually start creating that for you. So when you learn to get a hold on that and you really take control of your power and you become the mastermind in direction of your dreams, 100% of the time you will receive what it is that you are asking for. And an even better way is once you get past that phase of having to be a mastermind and you're really just solid and grounded in your power and in your feminine divinity, you kind of just take a back seat, and it's like, oh, I would love to experience this, and I would love to experience that, and then things just start magically happening for you. So with The Secret, it was like teaching you how to manifest things, and you'd get those things and little things, but the big things always seem like a major challenge. And the reason is because the little things you had hardly any resistance of, and the big things you have lots of resistance. So just pay attention to what you're focused on and what you're thinking from moment to moment, so that you can really engage this beautiful, loving, powerful energy of the universe that is here to support you. Did you want to jump in, Sam?
Yeah, and it's like these little things that you can add to your daily regimen and just focus on, like writing down every morning. I'm going to use different verbiage. When I'm talking, I'm actually talking with my girlfriend Kim tonight, and she knows, like, she wants this. And, there's so many women that are texting me right now, I'm going to do this, I needed this, thank you so much. But it's like, instead of saying things like, I'm going to, you say, I am, and I will. And, you have to use words, because you have to know that you're going to be successful. You're going to be independent. You're going to be happy. Not I want to be. It's you're going to be. So start thinking and training and focusing your mind that direction, rather than, because those words like I want, those are a little bit doubtful. Those are not solid words. Those are dreams. Right?
They are. So, and that energy resonance within them is, I want it, but I'm not going to have it.
Right.
You have to really tune into your feelings, like your intuition, like how are you asking? And it's as simple as shifting a question. I started waking up in the morning saying, what if today was the day that my life changed forever? And that question just excited me. And from the day that I started saying that, every day my life has changed.
Right. And it's not
your
always
word
easy.
is your want.
By no means are we sitting here telling you
guys,
if you wake up, if you're happy and you only focus on something, good things are
then
happen.
Magic will happen.
Yeah, exactly. But everything that does happen is, it makes you stronger, and it's a life lesson. You have to embrace, like you heard Randina say earlier about her past relationship with her child's father, and how now she can look at that. I mean, I feel the same way about my girl's father, and not my current husband, but my ex-husband. And you learn to embrace that, and you evaluate it, but you evaluate it for what you've taken from it positively. I mean, we've got beautiful children. That has made us focus on being better women and human beings, and not accepting certain things, being stronger, not so weak. So when you can pull the positive from no matter what is happening or has happened in your life, whether it's, the loss of a loved one, or losing a job, or, financial distress, whatever it is, you have to be able to find the positive, dig deep down, because there is something in everything, no matter what it is that's happening. And you know what, when you're in the situation, it's so hard to receive that. It's very difficult. We've all been there. I mean, there's times when something has happened, and I have Randina and Addie and Teresa and Cindy and everybody texting and calling me and sending me other love and prayers and heal. And it's because that's what we do. We're here to help one another and strengthen, but also to remind one another that there's nothing that can defeat us. There's no challenge too big. So that's what we're all here for, and that's what we'll all continue to do. Yeah.
Also, it's the inner work, It's like all these things that we're able to sit here and tell you today, it's because we did the inner work. We went in and we rooted it, and we figured out what the cause was so that we didn't recreate those patterns. We hired people. We all have our own coaches. We went to people that we knew were going to be able to help us. You have to continue the journey. You have to keep going from wherever you are going, and whatever the universe presents you with is the next thing for you to do to get you to the next place. Stop second-guessing yourself. You are exactly where you're supposed to be at the time you're supposed to be at, hearing exactly what you're supposed to be hearing.
Yeah. Yep. I agree 100%. And I live it daily. Love it. It's great. It's awesome.
It's a never-ending journey, but it gets easier and easier, and it gets better and better, especially when you have a support system, which is one of the reasons why we wanted to do this in the first place, was so that we can empower more people, so that we can have more of us. Because, you know, it's amazing, and all of our friendships and together, and we do all these things, but it's even more amazing when there's more of us, you know?
Yep. Power, for sure. And I'm telling you, it's so great because the women that are on this call, I mean, I'm literally looking at my arms. I could take a picture and the hairs on my arms are standing up. I've got goosebumps. It's like just, it is such an amazing crowd and group of individuals that have such powerful minds, and their energy is amazing. And I mean, I feel like every single one of them that I physically have met or even just talked to on the phone or whatever, you know, has been put into my life for a reason. And it's just the most incredible feeling when you feel like you're part of a tribe. And I love that you used that word earlier on today, because that is what we are. We're this, like, we're this, you can't break us down, period.
And we're so supportive of each other and so loving of each other. And we are like this for every woman that we come into contact with. It's because the only time women go at each other is when they have internal programming that they learned when they were little about their security in life, and so they attack each other. But when you learn how to heal those inner wounds and you turn them to love, you can have the most amazing, beautiful relationships with other women, and you know they're going to have your back no matter what.
Yeah, and I mean, I learned that. I'm still learning every day. I feel like, you know, and that's another thing, guys. None of us on this call have you know, we have not figured everything out. We don't know everything. We're still learning.
I don't think you ever could, because it's always changing.
It is, and I mean, even just the other day, you know, and as those of you that know me, I'm going to keep it totally real with you. And but it's funny because we all get into our little spiffs here and there, whatever. And I remember I had a rough week a couple weeks ago, and I kept to myself, and I wasn't doing my normal texting and with my girlfriends and our group chats, and I was, you know, busy and focused, but also kind of off in my own little world trying to figure things out and focus on me and just recharge myself. And things weren't coming together, and they weren't making sense. And then you add PMS on top of that. So it's like all these things that were like. And I remember, you know, like, Randita is like sending me a text, and she's like, "Hello, where have you been? You shut me out, and friends don't do that." And I'm like, I didn't need it. And it's so true. And I really felt so bad because I wasn't trying to, but at the same time, I needed her to say that to me. And to have me really feel that feeling of, wow, she's totally right. That's not me. Why did I do that? Of all the people, you know, my girlfriends, my soul sisters are the ones that will never judge me, will always be there for me, will always have my back no matter what. And I did do that. And it wasn't, you know, obviously you guys know, it wasn't anything on purpose. And she knew it wasn't on purpose, but it was.
No, because I used to do it too. So I knew what you were doing. And I was like, hey, we're in this together.
Snap out of it. But we need that. Like, even this call today, I mean, like I said, I mean, my phone is going, I'm going to stop looking at it in a second, but it's going crazy. I've got message after message. I needed this. This is perfect timing. This is everything right now. I've had a rough week. I've had this. And I don't mean I'm loving the text messages coming in. Like, I don't wish that anybody has a rough anything, but I love the fact that you guys are on this call because you were sent to this call. You're, you know, drawn to this call. You're here for a reason because you are so much bigger than you have any idea.
I know. You are. You're so much bigger.
Yeah.
And they know it. They know it. That's why they're here. They know it. And you know, I wouldn't really be able to fully resonate in it if I didn't learn, right? If I didn't like have other people to get inspiration from and see where they've come from and what they've experienced. And I know when I was going through it, there was like not so many women that at that point in time, you know, this was 10 years ago, that were willing to just open up their life and tell about everything. I mean, that's only been recent that we've been able to really just not be afraid and just kind of come out and say, like, yeah, I had a failed marriage, like, fuck it, who cares? You know, like, keep going on. like, yeah, okay, whatever. I'm not perfect. So what? I'm still here to change the world, and so are you. So let's go.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. No, definitely. I love that you just dropped the F-bomb. I'm just saying, like, I love
I probably should have warned everybody because when I get into it, I do.
I'm literally cracking up because part of me is like,
sorry.
And then the other part
Excuse my
like,
profanity.
I'm standing here. I've got my glass raised in the air, and I'm like, yes, girl. And I know there's a lot of other ladies on this line right now that are saying the same thing. That is awesome. I love it. That's so funny. See what happens? We just get going, and we can't stop, and it flows, you know? But
can't stop, won't stop.
That's right. That's right. So I know you wanted to. Oh, go ahead. I'll let you take over.
Oh yeah, okay. We're like 45 minutes at the time. So okay. So one of the main things also is talking about experiencing tragedy and resistance and all of these things. So one of the things that I learned is that when I experienced extreme resistance in my business, it meant that I was living beliefs that didn't support my vision or my dream. So you have a vision, you have a dream of what you want to accomplish, and then you have your beliefs and your patterns and your programming that is not in alignment with that, which is why you start experiencing resistance. So the resistance is just like a butterfly growing out of the cocoon, right? Or the chick coming out of the egg. Like you have to just squeeze through that and allow that process to take place so that you can flow into your butterfly experience and have the success that you dream of having. Resistance is a good thing. We've been taught that it's bad, that it's scary, that it means failure. In reality, it doesn't, because we're so resilient, especially women. We just get up and keep going and keep going and keep going. And so once you bust through that resistance and you have beliefs that are in dominance supporting you in your vision, it makes it so much easier for it to just flow into your life because it wants you just as much as you want it. So one of the things I want to say is the number one thing that I've seen, I don't know if you've seen this with women, I'm sure you have, but the number one thing that stops women is worthiness, deservingness, and self-judgment. So 70% of the patterns that we're running in our brain, a little bit of science for you, they're sabotaging and limiting. So we have to override that primitive, and this is why tuning into your intuition and your feminine power is so beautiful, because it is your right side, creative, intuition side of your brain. And so when you can start exercising more of that, then the logic and the, why I can't accomplish this or that, it starts to lessen. So doing things like dancing throughout the day, putting some music on, feeling into that feminine, sacred sexuality, coloring or drawing or whatever it is for you that invokes that creativity, the more you do that, the more you exercise that part of your brain, the more you'll be deeply connected to your intuition. It's just, the key is to being conscious of the thoughts that you're thinking and the emotions that they are causing, because we have like 65,000 thoughts a day, and 90% of them are unconscious. We're not even realizing what the thoughts that we're thinking. We're just kind of in these routines and these patterns. And when you start turning on that creative feminine side of you, it doesn't allow that left brain logic to be dominant anymore.
I love numbers.
It does help.
Like that. That was so cool.
Oh, yeah, me too.
65,000 thoughts.
Yes.
And I'm literally
a day.
Wow. And just the fact that we can do that. And I'm telling you right now, probably every single woman on this call probably has that number doubled. That's probably just like the average man.
Yes.
And then put us on we're well over 100,000 thoughts at least a day.
Yeah. Plus we're multitaskers, so we're like thinking about 5 different subjects at one time.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah, but turning on the feminine will balance those thoughts. It really, really does. We've also been conditioned to turn that off. When we're little, we're so in tune with it, right? Like, some people have imaginary friends, and some people, they just know things about other people, and then we're told they're not real. What you're seeing isn't real. You don't know. And so we just like slowly shut it off, and we disconnect from our higher self. But the more you tune in and tap into that feminine, the more that you reconnect with your higher self, and then eventually your higher self can take over.
Yeah.
So there are 5 things that you can do. So number 1 is to decide that enough is enough now, and this message is for you, whether you're dealing with something in your relationship or whether you're dealing with something in your business or something that you are just not going to tolerate in your life anymore. You have to decide. You have to. Decision is key. And number 2 is to vow to do what it takes, and this helps by tuning into your why. So if your business, or even in your life, if your business is, even if you have a product, or let's just say maybe the product is yourself, or whatever it is that you are selling to other people, tap into the benefit of what that product does for people, what it's done for you in your life, and what it does for them, and feel from that and sort of reverse engineer it so that that becomes your dominant feeling. And then you will have people contacting you, and you won't even know what to do with it. Number 3 is to write down your top 3 goals and vision the end result of these goals. So this is like reverse engineering also, because even with the check, that is a visualization process. You can find the check on thesecrettv.com or secret.tv, thesecret.tv, I think that's the website. If you don't have one of those.
The pictures of these checks going up on Facebook, I have this vision. I can see it now. We're going to get tagged with like $1 million.
Okay. Do it. Well, that's even better, because one of the things that I do in my group coaching is I will take everybody's heart's desires and prayers, and I'll pray over them for them, and I'll see them happening for them. I swear on everything that is holy, every single time I do this, people manifest exact cars that they want, exact husbands that they want, exact amounts of money that they want every single time, which is why I include it in everything I do, because it is so powerful. So the more that they are posting these checks, the more we can look at them and see them for them, the more it creates that energy to flow into their reality, and it has to happen fast.
Love it, love it, love it.
Okay, and then number 4 is, think about this. So 3 years from now, where do you want to be? Like, who do you want to be? Who do you see yourself being? Really tap into that and asking yourself right now, do you want to be in the same place that you are right now next 1 year from now? If the answer is no, then you need to get your butt in gear and start making changes. And the way that you do that is by projecting 3 years from now, where do you want to see yourself? And then every day asking yourself, what must I do today to realize that vision? And what if today was the day that my life changed forever? Those 2 questions in the morning will completely shift your life within 7 days. I promise you. And then number 5 is to do the work, do the belief work. If you notice a faulty belief, write it down, see the truth of it, change it, and also to engage your spiritual connection, because you have to know that you're not alone, that you are all connected. We're all cheering for you. We all want you to succeed, and that's really why we're here. Exactly. So I think I'm going to put together like an empowerment guide so that I'll write all of this stuff down, and with the links to the recordings when this is all done. And then if people want it, they can inbox you or however they want to get it, so that it makes it easier. So the story that I wanted to tell you was about the check. So I don't know. Are you familiar with the Jim Carrey check?
No.
Do you know about that story? Okay. So I saw on Oprah one day, I was watching, because I was just fanatical about learning all this stuff, and he really is into quantum physics and about all of that. You don't know that about him on the surface, but if you start investigating within him, you'll see that he really is about all the universe, quantum physics, everything. He is about projecting your reality. So anyways, he was on the Oprah Winfrey show, and she was asking him how he made his success. I'll find the video and post it somewhere.
Jim Carrey,
and Jim Carrey, And he said that he wrote a check for $10 million, and in the services he wrote for acting services rendered, right? So this is like the famous story. So the key elements to this are what it is that he wanted and what he was going to give for it. So whatever it is for you, writing out that secret check, let's say it's like $20,000 for enrolling as many, changing as many lives as I can, or whatever it is for you, and feeling into that. Now, the third piece of this that I didn't even know until the other day, and I heard this story years ago, was that he took that check and he put it in his dad's casket after his dad passed away, and he let it go. I think it was within a very short amount of time. I want to say a year. I'm not sure on the exact time, but within a short amount of time, he got the deal for the mask, which paid him, or it was Dumb and Dumber, for $10 million. So what he did was he said what he wanted. He said what he was going to give for it, and he had certainty and strength. That was the third thing. So for you write what you want, what you're going to give for it, and the third thing is you could put it in a magic box. You can burn it and give it to the universe. You can take it to the beach and bury it, or whatever it is for you that you know that you're giving it to the universe, that it is going to happen, and it will happen for you.
Mhm. It happened for me yesterday. I mean, I can right? I mean, I've got a video to prove it of me taking it, writing it down, and burning it, and it happened. So I can tell you, and I had no idea you were going to tell this story right now. And
I didn't know you were going to bring up the secret checks either. That's why I was so happy when you did. I was like, perfect.
Wow. See, we didn't even have a script or anything. Cindy and Randi and I literally were like, we're just going to go with it. Let's just go with it.
Yeah.
I'm loving it.
The only concern we had was who was going to talk too much.
I know. I'm loving it.
Yeah,
and
so that's what I got.
I do want you guys to know, too. So Cindy, Randi, and I are all on this flyer that we hope you guys share and pass around for the next couple of sessions. But the next one is going to be Cindy and Randina are going to host it. And then the final one will be the three of us coming together. So I know I've mentioned Cindy. She's actually here. She's on the phone. She's here with us. So I didn't want you guys to think I kept mentioning her, and you're like, damn, let Cindy talk. I promise she will be talking on the next one.
Yeah, she's debuting next call.
Hey, guys.
Hey, girl.
Hey, girl. So actually the next call is on creating and manifesting, so how to get what you truly want. So we're going to give you a bunch of tips and tricks, so you want to make sure that you tune into it because it's much deeper than the check. But do the check this weekend. Get it done. Post it on Facebook. Do a hashtag. What do you want them to hashtag? The power of a woman. How about we do that?
Oh, I love that. The power of a woman. Hashtag the heck out of it. Yeah. Put it on your Instagram. Do all kinds of stuff. Let's just put it out there and write.
Let's create a movement.
Let's create a movement. Right? I love movement.
Yeah. Me too. Women unite.
Yes, for sure. Well, I'll have to, let's come up with a great way for everybody to come together on social media. So we can use the hashtag, but I think we'll also create something, a page or a group or something, for all of us where we can invite women to. No offense, guys.
Yeah, let's do a group so we could post our checks on there.
Yeah, let's do that. That's awesome. Okay, we'll do that. We're going to get on top of that today. And it's really cool because I'm looking right now. It's 8:57. This has been so perfect. It's in every way, shape, or form. And it's literally like I almost thought, before the call, to be honest, I'm like, what are we going to talk about for an hour? And I'm sitting here thinking like, this is so perfect. It started off perfect, ending perfect, and everything in between was just amazing. So I thank you so much. And if you don't have anything else to add, I'll let you close it out, and then we can end the recording, and we'll post the recording this evening at some point.
Okay. So everyone, let's just connect into our hearts and send each and every one of us love and light and strength and power, and thanking and giving gratitude to the powers that be that we were able to come together and empower each other, and that the effects of this ripple through our lives even greater than we could ever imagine. Okay, so love, love, love for all of you, and I can't wait to begin.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, everybody. Thank you, Randina.
Yeah.
And Cindy. And we look forward to next time. Everyone have an amazing evening, and go love, 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 love everyone. Bye, guys.
Yes. Bye.